Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Craig here at Zuki Play Metals. I got really exciting stuff to share with you guys today, and I think I found another very rare bar, 1 ounce silver bar. So stay tuned, and we'll jump into it. All right, so I got 4 more silver bars, and I'm going to save the very best one, the one I think is the very rare bar, for last. I'm so excited when I learned about this. I just can't believe I'm just lucky, okay, in my opinion. But the first one was not anything spectacular or very extremely rare or anything. You see, it's a New York City 1 ounce silver bar from the Motherlode Mint. And it's the, if we just flip it over to the back, you can see this one has the solid pan. I did not have that. So it's a solid pan, vertical reverse. It's just the type 1A. It reads up. So, no real big premium, but it's just kind of neat. I had the hollow pan, so I went ahead and picked this one up. It's got some wild looking toning going on too. I don't know whether to clean it up or leave it like that. Anyway, there's that one. That was the first pickup. And then this one, whoop. This one is another Motherlode Mint bar. So this is the end of the trail. This one was in really good condition. I like that. It's got the American Indian there on the horse leaning over. And this one is pretty cool because I think the back on this one is a little more rare. So it's got the reverse type. It's a 3V horizontal. So right here it is. And it has the hollow pan. Okay. But what makes this one a little more rare or a little less common, I need to clean that out. It's got something in there. It's going to drive me crazy. But this one, as you can see, it does not have the script on the back like this one does, the Motherlode Mint script. So it's missing the script. I didn't know. I don't see that too often. I don't know how rare it is. I didn't see it in the 5th edition of the guidebook of silver art bars, by Archie Kidd. I did not see this back in there. So I thought that was really neat. No script on this bar. So those are both really cool bars from the Motherlode Mint. And then this one, we've got the Statue of Liberty. And this is from the Patrick Mint. So not extremely uncommon. You can see this one, when you compare it to one of these, this one is more narrow and a little bit longer, so it doesn't fit in these capsules. So I just put it in one of these little flips for now. But as we flip this one over, this one reads up. So it is the vertical reverse. So it is a type 3A. And so it is just a little bit more rare variety for these. I think there was, it's not rare, but of all these made, this is, there were less of these than some of the other ones. I think some of the productions were up to 1,000. This particular back was limited to 1,000 on the mintage, but just a phenomenal bar in really good shape. Of course, I like the iconic Statue of Liberty. So got a couple Liberty bars there. I even got the Statue of Liberty on my XRP mug here. So there's all kinds of liberties here, Statue of Liberties. There's 3 on the table right now. So the last one I got is the one that I really wanted to share and was excited about. It's this one here. And at first I thought, okay, this bar is not too rare, because I thought it was the Pioneer Mint, capital G&A bar, which is like an R3 bar. So I thought, well, that's really no big deal, okay? Until I seen the reverse of this bar. And I looked at this, and of course, none of the Pioneer Mint had this. This is more, this is kind of iconic to the Shields Mint. So I got to doing a little investigative work here, and I'm like, well, what happened? Did one of these shut down and somebody else get their molds? And, when they were pressing these bars, they got an obverse and reverse from 2 different mints. So I looked into it, and I actually went online, and I looked up the history of the Shields Mint with Keith Shields, which he started in 1980. And I'll read a little overview for you. And this is when I got really excited. So just hang loose here and I'll read this to you. Okay, it says the executive summary history. I'm just looking on shieldsmint.com. And it says, Keith says, I started the Shields Mint in 1980. I think in March. At first, we had a die set that had an ejector pin that left a round imprint in the center of the reverse. This with the capital and G and A on the obverse. It was made for a fellow named Fred Isaacs, who I really enjoyed working with. I don't think any other obverse had the ejector pin imprint. So I could be wrong about that. So a bar with the imprint of the ejector pin is very rare. Later, we had a die set made that did away with the ejector pin imprint as a whole reverse plate moved up and down. I also made a bar for a fellow named Peter Cover with the Minix on the obverse and a couple hundred for a golf tournament in Hilton Head called a Silver Shootout. But I forget the name of the golfer who contracted that, although I think his first name was Mike. We only made a few hundred at most like that. I think the total Shields Mint with my Irish and English family coat of arms on the obverse were around $250,000 over a 3-year period. I offered some artists a prize for the best design and chose the final design from 6 entries. I closed the mint December 9th, 1982. The market had gone flat. People lost interest in silver and gold, and I didn't have any sales. And then he shows his rolling mill, and then he's got a pic on here of his Roussel. I think it's Roussel rolling mill. That squashed the silver billets from thickness of about a half inch to 0.0625 inches and increased the length from about a foot to 6 feet. We kept the rollers polished, the diamond dust to imprint brilliant finish to the silver. So it's really, really neat. Just piece of history to look at that. So that kind of unveiled the mystery to me that this has the capital G and A that he mentioned on the obverse, which is really cool. And that would explain the Shields Mint. So this is like the first bar he picked up or started to produce. And he didn't do very many. He said that this one had the ejector pin center on the obverse. So let me crack this out and show you something. I'm just thinking this could possibly very well be one of those very rare bars that Keith alluded to. So let me get my handy dandy Uncle Henry here. See if I can get into this dude. I actually put it in the capsule before I even knew that this was a possibility. It could be one of those bars. There we go. So here's the reverse again. 999 fine troy ounce. There's the 2 shields for iconic for Shields Mint. And here we go. Capital G and A reverse. See right in the center, we got a little bit of toning. You know, what I'm wondering is, didn't like that. Could that be the ejector pin mark? So see, it does have a little circle area there. Get the light better on this side. Doesn't want to zoom that far. I'm not sure what that ejector pin would look like, but in that, where that toning is, there's kind of a circle impression. And you can kind of see it better at that angle. So right there, there we go. It's hard to zoom in on that. I don't know. I'm not really sure if it is, but it would still be one of the first ones that Shields Mint made, even if that is not an ejector pen mark. And we know with this Shields Mint that this is probably one of the first ones he made. He said this capital G and A would be on the obverse for the website. And then we do have the reverse. So I'm pretty sure this is one of his bars, maybe one of the early ones. And if that, where that area is, that darkened area, it's pretty much the center of the bar. So I'm just trying to tell if that could be one of the ejector pen marks or not. I don't know. What do you think? If, like I said, even if it's not the ejector pen mark, it's still an early bar. So I thought that was really cool, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So I hope everybody's having a good New Year so far. And until next time, I have something good to share with you guys. You take care.